is News 3 Now at 5.
No Kenosha law enforcement officer in this case will be charged with any criminal offense based on...
After 4 months of investigating, the Kenosha County District Attorney says no officers will face charges in the shooting of Jacob Blake.
We have team coverage tonight of the decision, what the investigation revealed, and how law enforcement in Madison is preparing for possible protests. Let's start with our Madeline O'Neill, who is live in Kenosha. Maddie?
Well, we're here outside of Kenosha Business where this press conference started. It actually began at 3 o'clock, now appears to still be going into a question and answer format. From the beginning, the district attorney said this would be a long conversation, saying that this requires a complex and detailed discussion. Now, many of us remember seeing the video of the incident in late August when Kenosha officer Rustin Shesky shot Jacob Blake in the back 7 times as he opened the door of his vehicle. DA Michael Gravely says the investigation needed to be, quote, laser focused, honing in on what a jury would consider, like if Officer Shesky believed shooting Blake was necessary to protect himself or others. The DA pointed out how the Supreme Court has ruled that a jury cannot use 20/20 hindsight and must consider the perspective of the officer in the moment.
In Wisconsin, and I believe this is law throughout the country, but it's certainly in Wisconsin, when there is enough information to raise self-defense, the burden of proof is on the state. It's on the prosecutor to disprove self-defense. So we would have to disprove the clear expression of these officers that they had to fire a weapon to defend themselves.
Former Madison Police Chief Noble Ray was brought in as an extra set of eyes for this investigation. Now, the DA says they've asked the U.S. Attorney's Office for a civil rights investigation separate from this. Now, we know in August the shooting set off many protests, not only here in Kenosha, but throughout the state and in Madison as well. In anticipation of that, the city is under a state of emergency, and tonight with the National Guard on hand, we'll be here with live reports.
Madeline O'Neill live in Kenosha. Maddie, thank you. The DOJ is releasing the full investigative documents as we speak, as well as Noble Ray's report.
And those reports will lay out the evidence, some of which was covered in that press conference today. News 3 Now investigates. Naomi Coles will be reviewing those reports, and she joins us now. Naomi?
Eric, they promised those reports by 5 o'clock. I have not seen them yet, but once they are released, we'll be reviewing those and bringing more details from them. What prosecutors said today at the press conference, here's what they say are the key facts of the case. The district attorney says that both Jacob Blake admits to and video evidence shows that he had a knife and officers saw a knife on him before the shooting even happened. 2 officers say they saw a knife while Officer Shesky was struggling with him behind the SUV, and Shesky himself, who shot him, didn't see it until just before the shooting. Prosecutors say the available evidence points to a justified use of force and that the officer believes he was protecting the children in the car.
There's a civilian witness who also says she hears LaQuisha Booker yell to the police, here he is, he's trying to take my kids and take my car.
Noble Ray, who reviewed the case, said he believed there were 4 examples in this incident of Blake actively resisting arrest and that the use of force was justified based on the officer's training. One example of that is prosecutors say the officer fired 7 shots because that's what it took to have Jacob Blake drop the knife. Later tonight, again, as I mentioned, we'll be going over that investigation in more detail and showing some of the pictures and videos they used during the press conference.
All right, Naomi, thank you. Jacob Blake's family speaking out after the decision to not charge those officers, and they are urging the nation to unite in a peaceful, nonviolent way.
We, the Blake family, are asking this city, this county, this state, and this nation to rise up in a nonviolent civic uprising. We're going to unite our people from coast to coast until we get justice. We're not backing down.
Well, Blake's attorney Ben Crump released a statement following the decision to not charge officers, saying, quote, this sends the wrong message to police officers throughout the country. It says it is okay for police to abuse their power and recklessly shoot their weapon, destroying the life of someone who is trying to protect his children. Now, Governor Evers released a statement following the decision saying, quote, today's decision is further evidence that our work is not done. We must work each day in earnest toward a more just, more fair, and more equitable state and country, and to combat the racism experienced by Black Wisconsinites.
The Wisconsin National Guard is providing additional protection for the city as the Kenosha County Sheriff's Office declares a state of emergency for the city. Yesterday, Governor Evers authorized roughly 500 troops to be mobilized to Kenosha to help local law enforcement.
Madison may be a 2-hour drive from Kenosha, but it had its own protests, damage, and destruction here after Blake's shooting in August.
Tonight, we're hearing that Madison police and leaders are hoping to prevent a repeat of what happened in August and even earlier in the summer. Gabriella Becerra reports from downtown Madison. Gabby?
Well, Eric and Susan, it's quiet here now at the state capitol where protesters have gathered after past events, and it could stay that way, but the city of Madison is preparing for anything. Now, the video you see on your screen, that's from past protests this summer. In a statement to News 3 Now, the Madison Police Department said they are committed to supporting First Amendment rights while maintaining public safety, adding that sometimes it can be a challenge under certain circumstances. Madison Mayor Santi Rhodes Conway says the city is watching the situation closely and will make contingency plans as needed.
Our approach has always been to prioritize keeping people safe, and that includes anybody who might be protesting. It includes officers, it includes bystanders, it includes people living in nearby buildings, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Madison police will have additional staffing available as needed for any protest coverage. Susan and Eric, like I said, it's still quiet, but we'll continue to monitor the situation into the evening.
All right, Gabriella, thank you. Meanwhile, the Illinois teen accused of killing 2 protesters this summer in Kenosha has pleaded not guilty. Kyle Rittenhouse, now 18 years old, entered his plea today in a brief hearing. Prosecutors say Rittenhouse, who is white, left his home in Antioch, Illinois, traveled to Kenosha intending to protect businesses in the wake of Blake's shooting. During protests 2 nights later, Rittenhouse killed Joseph Rosenbaum and Anthony Huber and wounded a 3rd man. We are still learning more about the evidence that led the Kenosha District Attorney not to file charges in the shooting of Jacob Blake. Our team of reporters digging through that evidence, gathering a reaction, finding the context around the decision, and our team coverage will continue in live reports from Madison and Kenosha throughout the night in our later newscasts on channel3000.com and on our News 3 Now app, which you can download for free in your phone's app store.
To weather now, it was a sunny day today, but we could see some more of that freezing fog develop tonight. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast with Gary Canalty. Gary?
And Susan, I need to qualify that. For most of us, it was a sunny day. Farther to the south and east, it was not. They stayed underneath clouds and fog, and that's what will kind of come back in through the overnight hours. As we look at visible cloud track, you can see the low deck of clouds out toward Milwaukee and even as nearby as Janesville, whereas Madison and areas to the west had mostly sunny skies, but also some mid and high level clouds are coming in from the west. Right now, still mainly clear in the Madison area, but dense fog advisories have already been issued for Juneau and Adams counties north of the Dells and for northern Illinois and parts of eastern Iowa south of the state line. Temperatures right now are in the mid-20s to the middle to upper 20s to near 30, but by tomorrow morning, look for those temperatures to drop into the middle teens or upper teens, probably around midnight, and then hold steady overnight as the fog and freezing fog develops. That will linger into tomorrow morning. Then look for mostly cloudy skies for the day tomorrow and a high temperature of 29. Get used to the clouds. Looks like they'll be with us through the end of the week. I'll have more details in the forecast in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. A Beloit woman accused of hitting and killing a man has been, as he changed a flat tire, was given a $10,000 cash bond. 27-year-old Alexis Simpson charged with homicide by intoxicated use of a motor vehicle. She is also charged with several misdemeanors, including possession of THC and bail jumping. Beloit police say the man was changing a flat tire Sunday night when he was pinned between the 2 cars after someone drove into the assisting vehicle. He was pronounced dead at a local hospital. Police have not released his identity, but say he was 24 years old and from the town of Beloit. Simpson's next court hearing scheduled for January 15th.
106 more COVID-19 deaths were confirmed in Wisconsin today. As of today, more than 5,000 people have died from the virus in our state since the start of the pandemic. State and county health officials confirmed 3,474 new cases. The state has reached a lifetime total of more than 491,000 cases, and over 27,000 of those remain active. The U.S. reported over 180,000 new COVID-19 patients yesterday. According to Johns Hopkins University new numbers, more than 20,817,000 cases have been confirmed in the U.S. since the start of the pandemic. Johns Hopkins also reported that 1,903 people died from COVID complications. That brings the total U.S. death toll from the virus to over 353,000.
Well, just over 85,000 Wisconsinites have now received some type of COVID-19 vaccine. Data from the Department of Health Services shows that about 65,000 Pfizer vaccines and nearly 21,000 of the Moderna vaccines have been administered to Wisconsinites. More than 420,000 vaccines have been distributed in the state. The CDC is reporting that more than 15 million doses of vaccine have been distributed nationwide. More than 4 million of them have been administered. And University Health Services gave the very first shots of the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to eligible employees and students at UW-Madison. Based on federal and state guidance, eligible individuals at UW-Madison include employees and students working directly with COVID-19 patients and those who are working directly with the virus and with virus samples. UW-Madison will continue to provide vaccine as it is available and as federal and state decision makers determine criteria for additional phases of vaccination.
As we wait for the vaccine to be available to the general public, healthcare providers are reminding people to be patient.
People being patient and not calling to get on a wait list and just waiting for that additional communication, trusting that we as healthcare organizations are going to provide that to them, supports us in being able to provide better access to care, more timely answers for patients who are calling in for other needs.
And doctors remind all of us that while we wait for the vaccine, people should continue to social distance and wear their masks.
Well, day 2 of the new session, and Assembly Republicans are moving quickly on a COVID relief bill.
Amy Reed shows us how testimony today could shape the legislation that they hope to pass on Thursday.
Assembly Democrats didn't show for testimony on a new COVID bill Republican leadership wants passed by the end of the week. The legislation would give the Joint Finance Committee power to pull money to help with the pandemic. It also would limit local health departments to 14-day business closures, which can be renewed. School districts would also be required to vote every 14 days if they choose to go virtual. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos kicked off testimony on the bill.
The bill before you is noticeably different from the version my caucus proposed late last year. I know Republicans continue to support these items and will bring them to the floor in the future. For now, we have removed them in a good faith effort to compromise with Governor Evers in order to get a bill to his desk that he will sign.
Much of the hearing talked about liability protections, which Republicans argue would prevent businesses from facing lawsuits so long as they're following best practices on the coronavirus. One Milwaukee business owner said what they need are new sources of revenue and proper virus mitigation.
I have no issue with having a capacity rule. I feel confident and safe knowing that we are trying to put these measures in place because we are trying to show the public that we can operate safely. Opening the doors with no measures in place and no risk mitigation isn't the way to go.
Committee Chairman Representative Joe Sanfilippo said they want to get something done soon, commending the governor and Republican leadership for starting the work toward consensus late last year.
I don't know if we're there yet, but hopefully we're going to be able to get there by Thursday and get something passed so that we can, get working for the citizens of the state.
Amy Reed, News 3 Now.
Dane County is helping small businesses that are struggling during the pandemic. County Executive Joe Parisi, along with Dane Buy Local, announced $4 million in new CARES Act funding to continue their small business pandemic support grant program partnership. Businesses will be able to apply for grants up to $50,000. The Dane County Small Business Pandemic Support Grant Program has helped about 2,700 local businesses with an average grant amount of $4,000 per business. More to come ahead on News 3 Now at 5. Up next, all eyes are on Georgia as voters head to the polls in 2 Senate runoff races. And coming up tonight at 6, why Wisconsin is moving more slowly than the rest of the Midwest when it comes to administering COVID-19 vaccines. And on Wall Street today, the numbers bounce back today. The Dow up 168 points. The NASDAQ adds 120.5, and the S&P was up 26. We'll be right back.
Hey, Tom.
Sheila. Hey, don't take losing the Anderson business personally.
I resigned it, Tom. I guess they didn't tell you about their opossum problem.
I thought it was pronounced possum.
This is the big one, folks. The Brothers Maine Everything's on Sale sale. Right now, you'll get everything from Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana with blowout savings, like a Maytag washer for $3.99 and a Maytag dryer for just $3.99. And you'll always get more from the More store, like our risk-free 30-day price satisfaction guarantee. The Everything's on sale with more selection, more savings, and more satisfaction on everything. Now at the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
At American Family Insurance, we've always protected more than what you drive. We've protected and supported the dreams that drive you. Right now, that means extending our 10% savings on auto premium for all current and new auto customers through March, so you can get a little closer to your dream. Whether your dream is discovering new roads and new limits, or supporting that dream. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Now through January 7th, join Planet Fitness for no enrollment. $10 a month, no commitment. 2020 is over. Start 2021 with tons of ways to get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. And spread out while you work out with cardio distancing and our new crowd meter. Plus, use our app to get moving anywhere. Your fitness is essential, so kick things off with the year's best deal. Join for no enrollment, $10 a month, no commitment. Deal ends January 7th.
5 Madison area locations. Sign up for $10 a month. Stop in today.
Better? Tonight at 6, we're live in Kenosha as the district attorney announces whether the officer who shot Jacob Blake will be charged and why Wisconsin is moving slower than the rest of the Midwest when it comes to administering vaccines.
A sewer backup destroys a Janesville woman's basement.
This isn't my fault. I didn't cause the damage.
But the city says they're not liable either. Why this disabled vet is afraid she'll lose her home. Could it happen to you? News 3 Now investigates. Thursday at 10. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
It is runoff day in Georgia with control of the U.S. Senate hanging in the balance. Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff are the Democrats hoping to unseat GOP incumbents Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Both races will determine which party will control the Senate, and the candidates are spending record money to get voters' attention. Each Democratic candidate raised more than $100 million in 2 months, compared to more than $60 million each for the Republicans.
The future of the country is on the ballot here in Georgia today.
I just want to humbly urge everybody to participate in this election today. Get out there and vote.
A record 3 million people have already voted. It could be days before all the votes are counted and the winners are declared.
Washington is bracing for a Capitol Hill showdown tomorrow when Congress meets to count Electoral College votes. The vice president will preside over the largely ceremonial vote count, during which dozens of House Republicans and at least 13 GOP senators say they will object. According to the rules, an objection would have to be raised by a lawmaker from both the House and the Senate. The chambers would then have to split up, debate up to 2 hours and then vote on the challenge. The Democrat-controlled House is expected to vote down the challenges.
Get a look at your first warn forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalty joins us now. Gary?
Well, after getting some sunshine from Madison and areas to the west, the clouds and the fog will move back in. Our eastern viewers saw that all day today. Let's take a look at 3 things you need to know in the forecast. Some more fog, some more freezing fog tonight into tomorrow morning. It's been the case the last couple of days. But we're still going to stay dry. I'm not looking for any snow until perhaps Thursday afternoon and Friday of next week. So we've got another 9 days or so of dry weather ahead of us. And then at that point, we'll see some light snow or flurries from Thursday afternoon into Friday. Could going to be followed by a shot of colder air toward the end of next week. But dense fog advisories have already been issued for Juneau and Adams counties from 8 p.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Already dense fog advisories in effect for northern Illinois and eastern Iowa through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Right now, visibilities over much of northern Illinois below a mile, in some cases near zero. But even Janesville right now still reporting a quarter-mile visibility. And you can see the fog starting to thicken up in central Wisconsin. Black River Falls with a 1.75 mile visibility, and that dense fog will gradually spread southward with time. Across the central part of the Midwest, notice you can see Marshfield, quarter-mile visibility, Eau Claire, half-mile visibility. But out to the west, Minnesota and Iowa still pretty much free of clouds and fog. So dense fog advisories run from northeastern Minnesota through much of northwestern and central Wisconsin and then down to the south. Nothing in between for most of our viewing area right now, but that could change if fog starts to thicken up later on tonight. Current temperatures are in the middle 20s across much of Wisconsin. These temperatures will start their fall to slow up later on tonight as the fog thickens up. We'll probably end up in the upper teens and then see nearly steady temperatures overnight. On weather tracks, clouds are already starting to move in from the west ahead of a storm system, which is developing in the eastern or western Dakotas back into the eastern portion of Wyoming, then down into Colorado. But the upper level winds will become more northwesterly with time. In fact, the strongest winds are actually starting to push through parts of western parts of the United States, and that will drive the storm system down to the south and actually cause it to reform farther to our south. So while it looks like there's rain and snow heading in our direction, this high pressure system will move northward and just kind of block that, and the whole storm system, this low and this low, will kind of come together and reform down to the south, taking most of the precipitation with it. Temperatures right now, 20s and 30s here. We can see some 50s over parts of western Kansas ahead of that storm. But on future track, notice the clouds move in, but the precipitation stays out to the west of us, and that'll be the case through Thursday. So I'm just looking for mostly cloudy skies, and what else is new there? So as we check out our forecast, we do have that dense fog advisory for Juneau and Adams counties, 8 p.m. till 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Look for a high tomorrow of 29 degrees, much more in the way of cloud cover. We'll see some morning fog and some patchy freezing fog as well. The 7 to 10 day forecast calls for clouds through Saturday, highs upper 20s to lower 30s. Next week, maybe a few peaks of sunshine, upper 20s to around 30 through Wednesday, and then that chance for snow from Thursday afternoon into Friday as temperatures turn colder at the end of next week. As we look at first warn traffic, right now the road's looking in pretty good shape. The Beltline, no problems there. I-39, 90, 94 on the east side of Madison, traffic moving at the posted speed limits. So it's a 15-minute commute either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and I-39, 90. If you're heading south on I-39, 90 from the Beltline towards Janesville, it'll take you 26 minutes. To Sauk City on US 12 is a 16-minute commute, and from downtown to Sun Prairie, it'll take you 18 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead at 5, the Salvation Army continuing to struggle. How you can help give back to those in need. That's just ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Hey, Dutch boy, show me Mocha Red.
Okay.
Does it have a smooth, durable finish?
Yes, and it's 50% more stain resistant.
Still talking to Dutch boy?
Dutch boy, show me Sleepy Purple.
Okay.
Oh, would you look at that?
That's better.
He'll still help us paint, right?
With Dutch Boy's high-quality, high-performance paint and Menard's friendly expert service, it's easy to twist off to something great.
You're handier than I thought.
If we spend a third of our life sleeping, shouldn't we try to get the best sleep possible? That's why Denver Mattress is all about that sleep life. And during the New Year's Super Sale, save $100 on every $1,000 you spend. Score free shipping and check out the Summit Firm for only $199.99. Save up to $200 on Rejuvenate Power Bases. Or purchase a Tempur-Pedic and get a free $300 Furniture Row gift certificate, plus 5 years no interest financing. But hurry, the New Year's Super Sale at Denver Mattress ends soon.
So, how's saving for the renovation going?
All done.
I will never understand how you do it.
Easy. She saves with BMO Harris. We give you a cash reward for every month you save.
So BMO will give me cash for saving money?
You bet.
Can the subject hold position 2, please?
How's this?
That's art.
That makes saving look good.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect. Get a $5 reward every month you save $200 or more in a new BMO Statement Savings account.
U.S. Cellular is giving away the latest phones for free with no hidden requirements, so I did not want to miss it.
Actually, you can get the latest phones free all season long.
What? All season long, huh?
Yep, and no hidden requirements.
You in the market for any camping gear? Only been used once.
At U.S. Cellular, get the latest phones free with the plan of your choice and no required phone trade-ins all season long. U.S. Cellular. Upgrade to fair.
Ghost stories. Sleeping in. Afternoon naps. Some things are just better with a toasty, warm blanket. That's why News 3 Now and St. Vincent de Paul are collecting new and gently used blankets for our neighbors in need. Please drop them off at a Dane County St. Vincent de Paul store or participating area churches the last weekend of January. Or donate new blankets online at svdpmadison.org. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
For the Salvation Army of Dane County, the new year comes with added challenges to help more people.
We can't fail. Families and single women are counting on us.
Demand is up at Madison's only single women's and emergency family shelters, which are run by the Salvation Army. On top of that, donations are down. The annual Red Kettle campaign is the nonprofit's main fundraiser, and this year the Salvation Army fell short of its goal. The final numbers are still coming in, but right now the nonprofit is $40,000 short of its $500,000 goal. Director of Operations Steve Heck says that's okay, but he's now counting on continued generosity from his community year-round.
Obviously, we're 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So whenever you have a little extra, if you can send it our way, we'll obviously make very good use of it and appreciative of it.
Now, there are many ways to give. You can donate money on the Salvation Army's website. You can also text DANE to 24365 or by mailing a check. You can donate used clothes or furniture and schedule a time for the Salvation Army to come pick them up. You can also send the Salvation Army your unused miles, sponsor a child overseas, or get your office involved through a corporate partnership.
A key part of the Badgers' defensive line is headed to the NFL draft. Senior Isaiah Loudermilk announced on Twitter this afternoon that he is headed to the draft. Loudermilk played 40 career games for the Badgers. He finished his career with 63 tackles and 7.5 sacks. All Division I football players were granted an extra year of eligibility due to the pandemic, but Loudermilk, along with Eric Burrell, will forego the extra season to enter the draft.
Now, the 2019 national runner-up Wisconsin volleyball team is ranked on top of the latest AVCA preseason coaches poll. The Badgers, who claimed the Big Ten title, only lost a few seniors from that team last year. The Big Ten has 4 of the top 10 teams in the nation. The volleyball season usually is in the fall, but due to COVID concerns, the Big Ten moved it to the spring. Wisconsin set to open the season January 22nd at home. That'll be against Purdue. Stay with us for a final check of your First Warn forecast when we return.
My wife had a tough week at work and she needed a break. I stopped by Quick Trip and they say, I want to surprise my wife with a special dinner. And the Quick Trip lady was like, our take-home meals are freshly made and absolutely delicious. I recommend the fettuccine Alfredo with chicken. And I'm like, sign me up. Upon arriving home, my wife says, wow, what's the occasion? And I'm like, just you. And she's like, looks like someone's getting dessert. Bless you, Quick Trip.
Quick Trip, we got you covered.
Is your credit score getting in the way of the things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit offer fast and flexible lending. Borrow up to $10,000 and choose repayment terms that work for you. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
The day after chemo might mean a trip back to the doctor's office, just for a shot. But why go back there when you can stay home? With Neulasta Onpro, strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the day after chemo and is used by most patients today.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to it, or Neupogen, filgrastim. An incomplete dose could increase infection risk. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
If you'd rather be home, ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro. Pay no more than $5 per dose with copay card.
Get more local news now with Channel 3000 Plus, our free digital streaming service that brings you area news and info 24/7 from the News 3 Now team. Channel 3000 Plus. Download it today and watch from your streaming media player or mobile device. Accurate news as it happens, right here where you live. Information that you can use from the team you can trust. For more local stories that impact your life, News 3 Now.
At News 3 Now, we've been asking antenna viewers to rescan TVs in order to receive our boosted broadcast signal. If you're still experiencing problems after rescanning, you may need to install a UHF-VHF combined antenna. For more information, please go to channel3000.com.
A surprise party, a wedding proposal, an unexpected bonus at work. Some surprises are awesome, but this, weather like this, should never be a surprise. Not when you watch News 3 Now, where you get an accurate, reliable forecast, so you're never caught off guard by the weather. Need to get up early to shovel, add time to your commute, wear boots, rebook a flight? Let News 3 Now Firstborn Weather give you everything you need to know so you can plan your life.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, it's election night, and it all comes down to Georgia to decide who controls the United States Senate. Join us for our coverage tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And before we leave you tonight at 5, let's get a final check on the weather with Gary.
Well, skies are starting to cloud up, at least out to the east of Madison. We've got dense fog advisories in effect from 8 p.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, north of the Dells, and until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, south of the Illinois state line. Notice Janesville's visibility already down to a quarter mile in thick fog, so keep that in mind tonight.
All right, CBS Evening News next, then we're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. We'll see you then.